Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the game today. I am your host, Claret Giraneza, and he is my co-host, Malcolm. And we here with just exciting news and just electric stuff. So, Malcolm, before we get into it, how you doing? I know you're busy, but how you doing?
No, I'm alright. Doing well. I have class today, but hey, I couldn't miss this pod tonight for the audience, for the viewers, because it was a fun game, to be honest. And by game, I mean the Warriors Dallas game. But in terms of health, I'm alright. I'm alright as usual, business as usual, life as usual, moves on. But yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. How are you?
I'm doing great. As you can see, I'm energized. We just kicked Clay's back to Dallas. I think he's gonna go with the bike all the way to Dallas. So, I'm excited, but a little cold because of the transition from whatever we're in to winter. It's a little, yeah, but I'm good. I'm all right. But yeah, you know, we're good. Everything is good. We're feeling good. So let's get into it right out of the gate. What did you think about the game that we just watched? The Warriors and the Mavs. I just can't hold it anymore.
All right. So first of all, today was the NBA Cup game. So it's
Yeah.
a combined game that's the result goes to your record for the regular season. So that was what was at stake. Second of all, it was the NBA Cup, as I said. It was you're fighting for to win the cup. So one, it's a normal regular season game. Two, it's an NBA Cup game. So that's two things at stake. Three, it was Clay's game back home at Golden State, and it was sort of like a revenge game in some people's perspectives. Other people's perspectives were like a welcome home, like a welcoming a home welcoming from for Clay, and then we saw the video, the presentation about Clay, and all that stuff, and then we saw the caps from like the fans, Captain Clay, you know.
Yeah.
So it turned out to stick, and actually, you know what I thought before is that I thought Clay would come and either drop a disaster class or a master class, but he played well today. I think he came alive, like to the Clay we know in the second
Yeah.
half, especially. But the game was fun. I don't regret watching it for 1 second of a bit. The game was absolutely amazing. But you know what I wanna do? I wanna go right into what I want to talk about. I don't want to beat around the bush now. I want to go straight. You see the play when he got the ball, and then Doncic was marking him, and
Yeah.
then they switched it to Cleaver. I was like, no, 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 don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then I saw the switch. I was like, oh no. No. And
It reminded me. It reminded me of last year when Lucas switched on Gobert.
I was just about to say that. I swear to God, I was just about to say it on Rudy Gobert, bro. I was just about to say it reminded me of the same play Luca against Gobert when they switched to Gobert. I think it was game two, final play. I was like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Please don't. Don't. And then I see the switch. I'm like, there's only one outcome. So when I saw the switch happen to Cleaver, Curry even took like he switched it and I saw Cleaver. I was like, it's over. And then even like took like a crossover, and then Cleaver was gone. There's no you're coming back from that. You feel me? Like you can't block eyesight, you can't contest because he did a crossover back. It was like he's gone. It's like an ankle breaker. He's gone. I was like, man, there's no and bro. I was like, there's no you're defending that. But the only way you're defending that is by using more offense. Is by scoring more points before that moment of the game. You feel me? The Mavs had a lot of chances to put this game to bed.
Yeah.
In the last 5 minutes of the game in clutch time, because the Mavs they are a good clutch time team. They're a decent clutch time team. But today they missed a lot of chances, turnover after turnover. I mean, when even the turnovers, Warriors was like turning over the ball, a couple of
Yeah.
times as well. But they're not punishing them. I was like, come on, guys. Don't just be 1 point on top. Don't just be 1 point on top. You need to be like five. You need to be like five. Because the moment is coming, bro. Because people, bro, it's just amazing how people like Steph and KD and LeBron are still doing this at their age. Like, you give them the ball, the last 10 minutes of the game, they're literally the only scorers that team. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, just give them the ball. Like, give them
You
the
know,
ball. The
I'm
difference,
glad you're saying
the
you're
difference, wait,
bringing
hold
up
on, hold on,
good.
hold on. I didn't finish my thoughts. The difference is that Curry is doing his thing from the 3 point line, LeBron is doing his thing from the paint, KD is doing it from the mid range line, from mid range. But that's the Same thing when they go to beast mode. I think Curry had the final 12 points for Golden State Warriors. Every
Yeah.
other team was absolute. They didn't know what to do. They just said, "We'll give it to fucking Curry, bro." And so my bad, my bad. But anyways, Curry is just amazing because when these guys have chances, the Mavs, bro, as they come on, guys, score. Kyrie gets the ball, he misses. Luka gets the ball, turnover. Kleber, turnover. And when they turn over, these guys go. Curry gets the ball, punishes them with a three. It's a 4 point game. When they get the ball, take a layup. It's still 2 points. It's still a 2 point game. So I was like, nah. And when I saw there was a moment just before the second last timeout. The second last timeout when these guys were like 7 points ahead because of the Klay Thompson transition three. I was like, I knew that was gonna be a three because like it was a very beautiful, nice transition. And when I saw that Klay Thompson was standing in the corner, and this guy who came with the ball, he saw Klay and someone else. He was like, "Hey, I'm going to Klay," and then get to Klay. I was like, "That's a bucket," because it's just my muscle memory at that time, bro. Klay transition threes is good. He's kind of good at that. So I was like, okay. Then it was like a 7 point game, and then from then on, I think they went like scoreless. But then these guys kept on scoring, kept on scoring, kept on scoring. Obviously, Curry kept on scoring. But the play that decided the game was that one when he like I even posted it on my Instagram right about now, like when he switched over to Kleber. I mean, bro, it was a 4 point game after that. This guy then they called a timeout. Then a guy of I think a bench player of Mavs came in, and I think he made straight away a three as well, like
Yep.
some tough shot three. Matter of fact, that could have easily been and one. They could have easily called that, but they're never gonna call that at Golden State. At the Chase Arena, they're never gonna call that. The refs are never going to let the decision if they are at the home stadium. If it was the other way around, Warriors probably gets that call, but Mavs is on the road, so they probably not gonna call that. We see that a lot. We saw it a lot with the WNBA finals. From the foul they called on Brianna Stewart, but they're not gonna call that. But they could easily have called that. That so it would have been a tied game, a 4-4. Sorry, because it was 4 then 3 then 1 point game, but you could have easily called that on one. And even if gets the free throw, Curry will still have gotten the ball for the final 10 seconds. So, bro, and obviously they'll play the free. I mean, they'll just hope that Curry will miss the final shot of the game if they don't want to foul. You feel me? But it was an amazing game. It was an amazing game. But guys, if you're in clutch time against the Warriors, against the Celtics, against the Suns, against those three guys, please finish your shots. Go into the final minute of the game when you're at least two possessions. At least you don't have to beat 10 points because that's not clutch time anymore. At least two possessions, which is at least 4 to 6 points. At least 4 to 6 points, guys. Because you see what happened. You see what happened. Did you also see that? Did you also see that when you saw that switch? Did you also know that's what it was inevitable, bro? It was inevitable. It was inevitable. I was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. Then the switch happened. I was like, oh come on, you gotta be kidding me. And I said the ball going in, and Nico is like, yeah. I mean, and then even does the 9-9. It was incredible, incredible.
Put him to sleep. Put him to sleep. But you mentioning the fact that Steph Curry is still doing this thing at his age, man. I
Yeah,
don't know what to say, man. Like, because there were two threes, in that fourth, like last 2 or 1 minute, same play a little bit, but just different ways of doing it, but just let it fly. And you're like, come on, man. Who does that? You
yeah,
know, it was beautiful to see. But also, before we get out of this Warriors and Mavs game, I want you to tell me a little bit about Draymond Green, man. I know we looked at Steph Curry putting him to sleep, but what Draymond Green did defensively
yeah.
is
I
absolutely a
was I
masterclass.
was impressed today. Draymond Green was brilliant. I think it was his best game ever. At least as far as I've watched today, he was good even on the offense. You saw that pass between the lines, behind the pocket. That pass. But Draymond Green makes those passes 10 out of 10 times. If you
Yeah,
make that mistake, that switch on communication, you make that mistake,
it's
he's gonna
gone.
find that bounce pass behind the lines of the defender. But the defense, I mean, there was the block. So the big time block against what's his name?
Gafford,
Yeah,
Gafford.
Gafford. Yeah, you saw that block.
Yeah,
The guys for
exactly.
the points. I think the because I know when they blocked these guys, I think Curry made a 3. So that's a 5 point switch. That's a 5 point switch. That's
Yeah.
a big switch, Because after that, you're just chasing. But before, that is 1 point ahead of Warriors. So that's a big point. And then he blocks it. And you can't call a foul, bro. You can't, because it's a clean block. It's a clean block. I was
I
like,
mean, because literally he went straight and then Gafford kind of crashed it and then he
yeah,
went behind. He
yeah. This
got
was
all ball.
when he was going to, he went straight, and then he somehow pushed the ball again behind. So and then this guy was able to reach it and block it. So I don't know what he was trying to do. Maybe try to be creative, because
Because if you look, man, trauma is real. Last year he blocked him the same way when he went vertical. So this time he tried to go the other way around, keep it here so that by the time Draymond goes down, you're able to just stretch out a little bit and
yeah,
flick
I
it
think
in.
he's
But
trying to like
Draymond just,
spend a lot of time in the air. I think that was the doing. But again, a couple of plays ago, he got for that a similar dunk. It was a called a foul
yeah,
like and one. He went straight that time. He went straight, and they called it and one. They called a foul. And if he did the same again, he would have got those points. But he somehow tried to get creative, and then he pushed the ball slightly down, and Draymond was able to reach it and grab it, not even just block it, but grab it away from his arm. That was a big play. That was a big play. That's a big play. But Draymond, he was good defensively. I mean, Draymond, he's carrying this team, bro. Like him and Curry, if they're not in Warriors is not good. But these
it's
guys,
terrible.
you can see Draymond sweating, bro. Like he was showered himself, like he's from showering, like running up and down, deflections, steals, contested shots. Yeah, but again, you're not gonna shoot 100% of your shots in clutch time, obviously.
Yeah.
But you have to take some opportunities with Kyrie. And I mean, Klay Thompson was the best player in the fourth quarter today, which is unacceptable for Kyrie and Luka. It's unacceptable. All due respect, but it's unacceptable.
No, but you gotta think about this, Malcolm, right? You've got Wiggins on Luca honey him all day, all night, and then Kyrie they're throwing all types of defenders on
Yeah, I
him.
think the Anthony
Like
Melton was on Kyrie today.
yeah, and the other method is really good, right? So the only open man you got is Clay.
Yeah, but still, I get it, but that's the NBA. That's the quality of the NBA. You're not gonna get easy matchups, especially in clutch time. You're going against high quality coaches, high quality teams. You're gonna get against high quality perimeter defenders, especially for a team like a revived Warriors. You're not gonna get easy defenders. That you're going to match up with. You may look for the matchup, but it's not gonna work. And as I'm saying, it's NBA, and the fact that I'm saying this means that I know what Luka can do and what Kyrie can do. There's some shots Luka, some positions Luka was overthinking it today in the clutch time. Yet he usually does not overthink them. At the turnover, I think he had like two big time turnovers again in the fourth quarter. Man, don't misquote me. I'm saying fourth quarter because in the first three quarters he was kind of good. I think he had like 31 points today as well. Kyrie had like 22. They were
Yeah.
good throughout the game. They were good. In fact, I have fantasy and I can see their fantasy points they give me. They were good, but when the game actually decided what matters, like what mattered in the game, because it doesn't come down to the final play or the final minute, but it comes down to those under 5 minute plays. I feel like Clay was the better player. He was the one who was carrying the team, which is unacceptable because Luka is supposed to make better decisions, but he'll go back, he'll watch film. We know he'll get better. We know, and I don't want to dwell too much on this topic. On the game, but the game was absolutely good. But
Incredible.
it was a great game. It was a good game. There's some games you wanted Mavs to win, but you're like, this is too great of a game. This is too great of a game. It was end to end. I think they had a Warriors had a 9 point lead, and then these guys came back. They went to an 11 point lead. That's like an 18 point turnaround. And then these guys came back. They came back. They won 7 point lead. These guys came back. So it was a great end-to-end game. The perfect definition of playoff basketball, let alone regular season basketball. Yeah, the arena was good. Unlike the Boston Warriors game where the arena was dull, even in clutch time, yet the score was within 5. The arena was good. Curry, like what impressed me about Curry and Draymond, you are talking about Draymond, is like the body language, every play. Curry, not Kyrie, Curry, Steph Curry, he every play, he shows that he actually wants the game. He wants to win. He wants to win. He's come nothing to win, shouting,
Yeah.
the clapping,
Oh no,
everything.
today he was animated, bro. I'm
He
sure
said,
the Instagrammers are gonna like it today.
exactly. And when people like LeBron, Curry say they are not losing tonight, they are not going to lose. We saw what happened Lakers Warriors, that game that went to overtime. Double overtime. LeBron said, "I'm not gonna lose this night." Even if we're going to play triple overnight, if I don't care, even if our players are tired, we are not losing tonight. When those players say such things, it's an inevitable. That's why you gotta take your chances if you're going to clutch time against such teams. You can't, because they turn over the ball and you come back, you come complacently because they didn't score the 2 points. Doesn't mean you should not score. Doesn't mean if you don't score, you're safe just because they didn't score in their play down the field. Nah, you have to
Yeah.
come. It was an advantage that they didn't score and you put your 2 points on the board, because now two threes for Curry is 6 points, and that for you is three possessions. For him to take him two possessions, two back-to-back threes within like 10 seconds, not even like in 2 minutes, that will take you. But yeah, the fourth quarter was two different games. Like the fourth quarter, the first it's 12 minutes, right? The first 7 minutes were all Dallas, all Dallas, all Dallas. In the last 5 minutes were all Warriors. You understand? Because the first 7 minutes of fourth quarter, Warriors didn't know what to do, turning over the ball. I think even Curry had 0 points for the first 7 minutes of fourth quarter. I think he didn't have a shot. Like they said it, he didn't have a shot at all in the first 7 minutes. And then when clutch time hits up, now we started making shots, started making shots. And then he had the last 12 points to end the game under 5 minutes. And then these guys also went dry from fifth minute. So like it was sort of like a big switch. And yet to win a game is supposed to be the opposite. And yet they just went down. They could have gotten away with the game. See that another day, maybe Luka makes that final shot of that game. That I think does it tie the game or win the game? It was a 3-point game. Yes, it was a 3-point game. It ties the game. They go to overtime. Another time they get it, but this game was lost in those 5 minutes. They lost that. They ran out of steam. But give them credit, give the Warriors credit. They played absolutely well, especially in the last 5 minutes, which is what matters. And I really judge teams in the final 5 minutes. And yeah, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from a basketball fan perspective.
I mean, me, I won't say too much because of me, if you're a Warrior fan and you get a win against the Mavericks, right, when you just got a win against the Thunder,
Yeah, those
you
wins,
get to feel good.
you enjoy those wins more than the blowouts. You enjoy such wins more. You
You know,
enjoy
you,
such wins.
and
You
it's
wanna win
good
like that.
it's good for business too.
Yeah,
It's good for
I mean,
business.
it puts you on pressure, definitely. Every
But
shot,
also
every
prepares you for
possession.
that pressure prepares you for the playoffs.
Exactly. But you wanna be in those situations. You wanna win though, because losing is like you had done. Especially with the way Mouse played today, they were good. I feel like they were good. They stayed together, but then they sort of like ran out of ideas in the final. They used the challenge when it was unnecessary, and then when the challenge was necessary, they didn't have the challenge. Yeah, so they ran out of like ideas in the final, but they played well as well. But you wanna play in such games, but you wanna
Mm.
win in such games as well, not just to play in such games. You wanna win in such games. It's fun to win such games. It's better than blowing out a team because you're preparing your team. Playoffs is pretty much the way we play today. The way they played today was pretty much playoffs, and it's impressing me that people are fighting hard like this. Ball is already out, but someone is diving on the floor even when the ball is going out, rolling out slowly. I don't know, maybe because it's NBA Cup. I don't know if it would have been the same match if it was just a regular season game. But we can never know. That's the point. We can never
You
know.
can throw in there the part that it's NBA Cup,
Yeah,
because stakes are high too,
stakes are
But
higher.
Malcolm, speaking about the NBA Cup, let's take it all around the world. Let's leave San Francisco.
Yes,
Good for
sir.
them for the win. But you've got this NBA Cup group stages games starting today, going forward. But I think there are things to look out here that might change or alter the course of these games or the outcome of this NBA Emirates NBA Cup. I don't know how to line it up, but you've got all these injury reports. Uh, some of them are big names in different teams, right? And I just want you to tell me, what do you think? Kind of changes when you look at this list of guys who are missing in their respective teams.
Yeah. I know people are now trying to get deeper squads in the teams because you're seeing what Steve Kerr is doing now is I think he's having a rotation of almost 13 players. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but it's a double-digit rotation because players are getting susceptible to injuries. And you know what? It's not just in basketball. It feels like in every sport, people are getting more injured. I don't know what's wrong. People are getting more injured by the day, by the time. I mean, look at this. Kevin Durant. probably in MVP conversation. He has been brilliant this season. He has his Kevin Durant is out. Jamorant out. Want to talk about him last time for how good he was for multiple weeks. Leon Kawhi, obviously Kawhi is out. That one is not a big deal. It's not a surprise. Bankero is out for almost 2 months. DeJounte Murray out for almost 2 months. Chet Holmgren out for 2.5 months. That's crazy because Chet was playing well. He was balling. He was balling. I mean, I saw on an ESPN post that was it yesterday when Shea was the biggest player in the field. Like I was like, what? I was like, Shea being the biggest player in the field. So I mean, Zion Williamson indefinitely out. Scotty Barnes indefinitely out. Chris Middleton indefinitely out. And these are just some of the players that are out. There's a lot of players getting injured, and I don't know if it will impact the. You asked about the NBA Cup, if it will impact them, but I feel like the team that is going to win the NBA Cup is going to deservedly win, and there will be no excuse of any injuries, even if they have some
I
injuries.
mean, I mean, I'm not trying to discredit whoever is going to win, but I'm saying like if you miss Kevin Durant and you're the Suns, right, and you go against a team that plays good defense, now you down one of your best scorers, right? That
Yeah,
have you a little bit. Or if you are, DeJohn Murray and Zion Williamson, who
yeah,
are on the same team and are all big names that are missing, right? It kind of hurts you because now you don't have somebody to go to like that person who is
and you
in.
don't have the depth. You don't have the depth, you know. Yeah, certainly, you don't have quite as much production from the person you bring to replace in. But hey, this is why the NBA coaches are paid the way they pay. You know, to find solutions. That's the whole point of the role. What will happen if our big player is down and you need to win the game? And you see, Kevin, Suns won today their game. You know, Booker stepped up, Bill stepped up. You know, you need to find out
But it
solutions.
was, it was
So,
Utah Jazz, man. Come on.
I know, but they can definitely win a team without KD, however big the team is. So,
Okay.
it's another scenario if all the big players are out. But, yeah, Euro is to find solutions. That's why it's not an excuse. But it just feels like there are too many injuries. I don't know why people get injuries so much in NBA, but I don't
I
know. I
mean,
don't know.
think about this, Malcolm. You've got KD who went to the Olympics, right? He didn't have as much of a big summer break that he usually has
Yeah,
in the past couple of years because hasn't been in the playoffs deep uh, as of recent years. But also like it's a day in and day out game that you play for 48 minutes without you know stopping, without changing the pace, without you expose your body to a lot of activity that, and then you include practice a little bit and gym and all that. It's a tough grind, so I understand why some of them be getting injured. And
yeah,
then you look at the list: Kawhi, Durant, Milton, a little old, but and then the young ones like Holmgren and then Williamson and then Burns. But hopefully they all are back for
yeah.
the second half of the season, probably.
Exactly. If there's a time, I was just about to say, if there's a time they should get injured, it's now because we wanna watch the national TV games, the televised games when all the players are there. When it's the best team versus the other best team, no excuses. You beat a team, you beat them fair and square. You sweep them fair and square, without any excuses, of injuries. Like the way some people are saying that
Yeah.
Celtics lost because they didn't have Jalen Brown. You wanna beat them fair and square, but we hope that the second half they will be, but hey, it's the reality of being an athlete. It's you're gonna get injured sooner or later, or at least your teammates are gonna get injured. You're not gonna keep 100% fitness throughout the season, especially with NBA. I mean, 82 games a season. Yeah, it's gonna be injury. So that's why the coaches are paid the way they're paid to find solutions. But yeah, it's gonna. But I feel like instant tournament is still gonna be interesting. With whoever is out, it's gonna be a blaster. It's
It
always
is.
gonna be a banger. Always, there's a lot at stake. There's the money, especially for the rookies who don't earn quite as much, because LeBron earns $500,000 in like what 30 minutes of playing time, even without playing. But the other rotational players, they get 500,000 in a year. So you wanna help your whole franchise win this 500,000. So there's a lot at stake, and
And
solitary
I
rights,
mean,
bragging
you want to
rights.
win.
You
You want
know,
to win for the regular season too, because
yeah. So
these
yeah,
these
obviously,
counts.
regular season. So it's sort of like killing two birds with one stone. Doing them, you wanna go 7 in also you can get the money, improve your legacy, and so build up like your mentality, like how to win as a team because you already won a cup as a team. How can you go into the playoffs now because you already had the experience? Obviously, yeah. But I don't think the injuries will be a big deal because they are part of the game now. It's now not like a very big thing that you have injuries being talked about a lot. It is now sort of like, how do you play with the injuries? It's part of the game now. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that every time, especially NBA players get injured a lot, yet they just use their hands and they just run with it because every sport runs, you run. So don't tell me that you're running up and down.
I mean, you got out the
NBA
fact
players use their
the,
hands to shoot.
the,
So that's what's crazy about it.
the
But
movement, Malcolm, because you gotta jump up and down all the time,
yeah,
rebound. You're not looking who you're going to land on or how you're going to land because every focus is up in the air and the lower body is completely exposed. And
yeah,
talking about injuries and what they are not gonna affect, we've got a bunch of names coming back from injuries a little bit. I know
Embiid.
what I'm expecting to go to, but before we go there, right? You just mentioned that Celtics struggled against the Warriors because JB wasn't on the team, but now he comes back and they're still struggling. I just want you to tell me, what do you think is the problem with the Celtics right now? Because they seem like they're letting the level of the like something is off a little bit.
Something's not right. That's the thing. Sometimes I just gotta put my hands on side. I don't know because Jalen Brown is playing well. Jason Tatum is playing well. Every time Celtics lose, one of them is not playing well, but Jason Tatum has had an MVP. Shout out season so far. Jason Tatum, and they're playing. From what I see, they're playing well, but they're struggling against small teams. I watched the final minutes of their match against Atlanta Hawks, and Atlanta Hawks were bowling, man. They were bowling, and I was like, God dang. So it's easier to you go to KP is not there, they can't space the flow, matchups, blah 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 blah. We can come here and do that all day. But Celtics, come on, they're good enough to win without KP, without Porzingis.
Let me
So
throw an interesting perspective to you right now.
yeah,
You look at them last year. Of course, their offense was off the roof with their shooting and all that, but their defense was incredibly great.
yeah.
When they won the championship. Do
You
you
think
think their defense is really bad right now?
it's the same players though?
But that's the point. Like that's how like when I watch the Hawks game, right? I'm seeing, JB is missing his assignment, JT is missing his assignment, and all offense, their ball is falling just like always. But then
Are
I
they
think
complacent?
it's miscommunications defensively, which is something that can be fixed. So hopefully they figure out that defensive.
Yeah, Joe Mazzulla will figure it out. If you're in the East, he's in. Joe Mazzulla is the right man in the right conference, so
Yeah, I do think they'll figure out
they'll
something
figure it out.
defensively, and probably
I
when
mean,
KP is
it's,
back.
it's Celtics and Cavs, and then every other team from 3 is below 500, like 500 or below. Like that's how bad it is, you know. So that's how bad East is, and yet for West you have like 3 teams that are like top 3 within one game of each other, and then the other like up to like freaking
It's
number
already
12.
close, man. Like it's
It's
already close. Like it's one game,
Yeah, I
one
mean,
and a half. I'm like,
Mavs
dang.
were like at number 12, and then you're seeing Rockets were like at number 6, and I'm like, what's going on? Like,
Mm.
but East is terrible. So you talked about the Celtics, that will definitely figure it out. Or even if they don't, they're in the Eastern Conference, so they don't really have to, if they're in the West, it would be a different story. But yeah, they'll figure it out. Maybe they're a little bit complacent from the winning the championship, but
That's
it,
also
it
another
cost the
thing.
Nuggets as well. That's how the Nuggets began last year, so it cost them a will. So if they wanna build on, they even need to be better than last year if they wanna win the championship this year. But it's still early to figure out a couple of solutions. But again, that's why they pay him the big bucks to figure out solutions, and that's why the season is long.
I do think they'll figure out something. I think the problem is not offensive. I think the problem
It's
is
defensive, yeah. It's probably
defensive.
defensive, yeah.
But if they
I think
want to
so.
win more games, I think Jason Tatum might have to slow down his scoring because that gives too much attention, but also opens up for the rest of the team. So it's been like the center of attention has been him. So he might have to take down the notch of scoring a little bit. But anyways, they'll figure out. They were just
Yeah,
a
yeah. And
different
just to
team.
wrap up on the Celtics, they've lost today and they've lost against an easy opponent. that is not good because they have to win the next 3 games because there's
Mm.
a fight. There's a fight. It's 5 teams in a group, and you play 4 games, and they've lost to the Hawks, and they still have to play the Cavs. So if they lose, they have to win. They have to go 3-1. For them to at least have a chance, and they have to win those 3 games by a big point differential. So obviously, a point differential won't be a big thing for them, but so because they all usually blow out teams, but they have to beat the Cavs. Otherwise, if they lose to Cavs, the maximum they can win is 2-2, and that's a struggle. That's a struggle to get into the knockout phases.
Today was a bad loss for them, but talking about bad losses, Embiid returns, but then Philadelphia Sixers lose.
Yes, sir.
Talk
Embiid.
to me, I know we've talked about all these things about, Embiid not wanting to play in Philly, but he looked rusty, like somebody who
He
just
looked rusty, especially in the first half.
yeah. But talk to me. What did you think about? Is it the chemistry of with PG in the game and then Maxi out? What?
Yeah, yeah. I think Max is carrying this team's offense, bruh. These guys, I don't know. They look so. PG hasn't just really adapted to their life there. That's how it seems. And Maxi is done, who has been carrying this offense for a long time, with the injection of pace when it's needed. Slowing down the game when it's needed. Yeah, Embiid looked rusty in the first half. I think he dropped 8 points, and I think they're all free throws. And then I think he started dropping a couple of jumpers in the second half. He looked rusty, but obviously we can give him a pass because he just come back from injury. Because Embiid at his best, even if he's on one leg injured, Embiid is gonna drop 50 points on you or 45 points. So he's that talented of a player. But yeah, we will give him a pass for today. And obviously with time he's gonna get better. But yeah, the Knicks also are not that great from what I saw.
Yeah.
But they managed to get a win, and that's what great teams do. Is that even on the ungood days, when you're not making good shots, and they managed to actually pull away because the game was pretty close up to like third quarter. Then when it kicked into like the fourth quarter, they managed to sort of pull away 10 points, 14 points, and that's what now also I pulled away as well. But yeah, from what I saw is that Maxi carries this offense. Yeah, he carries it, and that's all I have to say. But it's good to see him beat back. It's good to see him back. Finally, especially before Kawhi Leonard, when Embiid played and Kawhi didn't play, and we still don't know why Kawhi is out. But it's good to see him back. It's good to see him back. Yeah, as a NBA fan, you wanna see all the best players play, and yeah, it's good to see him back because if it's good to see him back, that's what all I have to say. But going to next as well. Also, it seems like Kat is struggling, man. I feel bad. Kat is, man, I don't know. I feel bad. Kat is in the Knicks, bro. Like even like seeing Klay Thompson today, it just feels weird. It feels weird seeing him in a different uniform. Seeing Kat in a different uniform, like it just feels weird, bro. Like
No.
it just
I
feels
mean,
weird.
I don't even understand. Like, if you're the teammate who's been with him and then you play him in a different uniform, it just feels weird. But
Yeah,
the Knicks kind of are getting back into their defensive identity a little bit with Michael Bridges finding his groove a little bit. I think that will be a little fine too. But staying over there, the conference is almost every team is struggling. You know,
yeah.
look
In the
at the
East,
Bucks. I don't know what is
they're
going
struggling.
on there. I don't know. It's because
I
those are
mean,
the team
I mean,
and
a
those
couple of
people
weeks ago, I asked you what's your
stuff.
a couple of weeks ago, I asked you what's your Eastern Conference Finals prediction, and you said the Bucks.
I,
And now I'm looking at them. I mean, even yeah, I'm hearing rumors that Chinese wants to be traded, bro. Like that's how bad it is. Like it's bad. It's bad in the Bucks. Like I don't know. Yeah, Yanni should get traded, but I think if Yannis goes into the Knicks, because that's what I'm hearing. Like who will be the main man? Will it be Jalen Brownson or him? But I don't know. I guess it's a long way to go for him to actually leave than just the rumors. But yeah, it's not looking good in the Bucks. Chris Middleton is out. Damian Lillard, I think he dropped like 4 points like a couple of games ago. And like you can't do that. You can't do that. It's not good in the Bucks. Sixers are not good. I think the only team that's challenging the Celtics is the Cavs only. Cavs are, I think they're 13-0. Cavs are flying. The Cavs are flying. They
no, I
figured it
mean,
out.
look, the
About
Bucks, the
them.
Bucks, I think their problem is mostly chemistry and just identifying where the shots are going to come from. because if you think about the Bucks team that won the championship, they were playing through Giannis Antetokounmpo, and now you've got a Damian Lillard who commands the same attention. And I think it's just been a struggle to kind of put together a way to, just get them to coexist at the same time, but also be their selves at the same time, right? Because Giannis goes all the time to the basket. Sometimes it doesn't even kick out, right? Dame is the outside player. So it's just been ever in the air.
Yeah, they made a
Look,
mistake of trading what Holiday. They had a better balance offensively and defensively with him. He made a mistake, bro. Yanis has made big calls over the years, bro. But
I
hey,
mean, what I think is that he cannot trade himself because you brought Damian Lillard in this land to win a championship, and now you gotta get out of there, bro.
but they look worse with them than with Drew Holiday. Matter of fact,
Because sometimes when you have too much talent and you don't know how to use it, it's just bad.
yeah, and yet Damian is a far better player than Drew Holiday,
You
at
know,
least offensively. But yeah, and now again, sooner or later they're going to sack the coach, Doc Rivers, and then the new coach, and then they'll still sack him. So that it's not gonna work like that. Yeah, now like Giannis has the authority over the Bucks. It's like a player-led team. But at least he won a championship. It's better than who? Like he's better than Kyrie, who hasn't won a championship, or
who?
Luka, or Ant. So at least he has
Kyrie
one.
have won a championship with the Cavs.
Oh no, no, not Kyrie, Luka rather, Luka.
Oh, okay.
He's better than him. I mean, Paul
Okay.
George, Kawhi,
Kawhi
Embiid.
won.
Oh yes, Kawhi won with the Toronto.
Two
Oh wait,
times. He's a two-time
but
MVP.
yeah, I mean, I think even the San Antonio Spurs, Kawhi won a championship. I think
Oh
in
yeah.
20.
No, but
Well,
look, man, look.
but there's
The
big
Bucks.
players who have been won a championship.
Yeah, the Bucks need to figure out this thing because I think their most problem right now is defense, right? And if you task Damian Lillard to play defense like Drew Holiday play defense, he cannot go back and play, on the offensive end like you want him to, right? So
Yeah, he
that's
can.
why I don't know why you traded a Drew Holiday because the Drew Holiday would have been a second, like a two guard, and you let Dame on the ball a little more, and then just Drew just there to do his thing, right? So, anyways, hopefully they figure out something. Personally, I think the year might be a fluke. It might not work out well, probably next year, but you know, before we get out of here, I know you pressed on time. I'm trying to gauge whether to go to Denver or stay in the East. But you say that Denver Nuggets isn't really finding something
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Matter of fact,
too
why
much
don't you explain
like
to me why you think they're
defensively. Like,
finding their
talk
groove?
to me
Because
about your point.
no, no, no. I'm returning it back to you because what has convinced you that you think they're finding their groove? Because I mean, Jokic was crazy yesterday. 37, 18, 15. Those are crazy points. I mean, Jokic has dropped those things a lot that no one is really surprised anymore. But those are crazy points. I mean, AD is very good, but he cannot drop a triple double. And even if he drops a double double, a big double double, he'll drop like 40 and 20. But Jokic can drop 40, 20, and 15. Like
Yeah.
that is crazy. Like I don't know how many minutes this guy plays, but I mean that's crazy. Like Jokic is crazy. I mean yesterday, I think it was yesterday when they played yesterday but one when they played the Mouse. I watched bits of the game because I was in class, but the whole team had. I think maybe that's what the game is. It the game that convinced you that they're finding their groove? Because for me, I still feel like these guys don't have a bench, and it's the same problems they had last year. The same problem they have this year. They don't really have. They haven't convinced me yet. Like they are
I
going
think it's
anywhere.
been I think it's been more about the past two games because I think most of the time what happened to these guys was they lost a little bit of athleticism and youth,
And yeah,
but now they've got like two young guys who are playing lights out. They've made a leap
and then Jamal is not playing as well. Like Jamal has been struggling
okay,
for
that's
quite
where
a
we're
while.
going right now. So over the past 3 or 4 games, the two-man game between Jamal and Udoka
Jokic,
has returned. That's why I said like, what are you? These guys are kind of coming back a little bit. So the combination of Jamal's return. When I mean Jamal's return, I mean like his play with Joker and just the two-man game and the three falling and the shot falling, and then you put on the youth, right? The way the youth is playing, and then you look at Russell Westbrook kind of playing better than he's been in the past 4 years. I'm like, man, you don't want to see this team in a series of 7 games. You just don't.
I do. I do. I want to see them. I do.
You don't, Malcolm.
I swear I do. I need revenge. I need
Your
revenge.
event might have to become self-inflicted pain more than
I
you
need
actually feel.
bro. There's no team I'd rather face right now than the Denver Nuggets in a series.
This is what I'm gonna tell you right now, right? The Denver Nuggets are on their verge to kind of claim what is their own
What is it?
because as much as Joker has been putting up empty numbers, it was because Jamal was on the bench, and right now even Gordon he's on the bench because of an injury. But you look at Peyton Watson and Christian Brown, you're like, man, these kids are balling, right? And they're not afraid and they are shooting it. And then Joker with his ability to just get people open because of how dominant he is. I think they might be able to come out and play because last year their bench was terrible. The non-Joker minutes were terrible. But now I think they found something in those with Ross and the rest of the young guys just playing hard in those games. Um, you know, I won't tell you that they're going to win big, but I can tell you that they're back at something that is tangible.
Which makes the Western Conference more interesting. But yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
But anyways, man, it was a good game, Warriors, and
Thank you, Garrett. Warriors
you
won.
know,
Give them credit. And don't forget to subscribe, to like, to follow, to share, and support us. Thank you guys, and we will see you really soon.
very
Just
soon,
as
very,
a quick
very
reminder,
soon.
the regular season games will carry on. The NBA Cup games will carry on. I think on when tomorrow Lakers is playing Grizzlies, and we have a couple of games also on Friday. And yeah, so don't forget to catch them on ESPN on TNT. But yeah, we're flying, and we hope to see you soon. Good night, guys, and
From this side, hi, whoever is joining, good to see you, but we are here. Have a good night.